How you doing?
Did you sneak away from the group, Tess?
Would you like it?
Hey, Tess, how about it? Let's sit right here.
That'll work.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'll just sit here. I'll sit in the back where I can't see. Now the stage, that looks creepy. It looks like some little girl was on there.
That's not, you're not first person downstairs.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Have you here for a while? What you notice?
Come get me,
All right, are we all here? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first movie theater in Springfield. On a Friday night in 1914, you can see a silent movie in here for 5 cents. It's like $13 now to go to the movie for a 3D. Anyway, whatever. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play you 3 EVPs that were recorded on previous tours. This first one was recorded in March 2011 in the dungeon. There's about 35 people in there with me. Now what you're going to hear is someone scaring the absolute crap out of me. Then as the laughter dies down, we catch an EVP that we've gotten several times in that room.
Oh, that scared me.
That's okay. All right, try that again. Here's Mom. Okay, try that again.
Were you a criminal?
Hey, don't say anything, guys. I'm going to play it one more time.
Were you a criminal? Oh, that scared me.
That's okay. All right, try that again. Here's Mom. Okay, try that again.
Were you a criminal?
Okay, what did that sound like?
Can't breathe.
Yes, we've gotten that. I can't breathe. We've gotten that one several times in that room. I'm going to play this one more time. And so you know what you're listening for now. I think, before we hear that clearly, I can't breathe, I think I hear I can't breathe 2 times before, like trying to be heard over the laughter. Did that make sense? I didn't word that very
like
well.
the same voice. I thought I heard it, but it wasn't clear the first time.
Yeah, let's give it another listen.
Oh, that scared me.
Hold on, we've got a connection problem here. All right, try that again. Here's Mom. Okay, try that again.
Were you a criminal?
Forgive me, guys. There's some kind of connectivity problem here. Try to make sure all my connections are solid.
Might be a can't break.
Maybe it's ghosts.
Were you a criminal? Oh, that scared me.
All right, try that again. Here's Mom. Okay, try that again.
Were you a criminal that was sent to this room?
Okay. Now, believe it or not, that is the faintest of the 3 that I'm going to play for you tonight. This next one was recorded a few months later in July of 2011 on one of the overnight investigations. Now, there were only 2 people in the dungeon with me that night. And after we finished the EVP session, we came upstairs because, as I mentioned downstairs, on the overnight investigations, there's a meal provided at midnight. And so as we're sitting there eating, excuse me, we're listening back on that EVP session on his little digital recorder. And we hear something that we didn't hear originally downstairs, but we can't exactly make it out. So we ran up here to the theater, plugged his little device into the big speakers, and heard this.
What is your name?
Okay, hold on one more time.
What is your name?
Okay, what did that sound like?
Humming.
You know, a lot of people think it sounds like a little girl saying Jillian or Julian or Vivian or Lillian, or even a little boy saying like William or Stephen. I gotta tell you though, it's not that first response that gets me every time. It's the second one. The guy, to me, sounds like a little kid. You know children, they'll hum to themselves when they're playing alone? How they'll sing to themselves? Anyway, this last one was recorded October 30th, 2012. The gentleman returned 2 months later, on December 26th, and for the ghost tour again, and he brought his digital recorder and said, I have got to play you this EVP I caught in October. And he played this for us, and to be honest, I just wanted to look at him and call him a liar. Because it just sounds like someone purposefully trying to scare someone on the tour. And so we started the tour, and I got to thinking, if I ever heard anybody purposefully scare someone like that, I'd kick them out. It's too dangerous. We just don't do that here. So when we got up here to the theater, I asked if I could plug his recorder into the big speakers. And we played it for the group. All I'm going to say is it's not just some guy saying something. You've got about 6 or 8 seconds, and you'll know it when you hear it.
That was my fault.
Okay, one more time.
That was my fault.
Okay. What did that sound like?
I got you now.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. I got you now, I'll gut you now, I'll cut you now. It's aggravating to me
I've got him.
because it can't ever be, hey, how you doing? I brought ice cream. It's got to be something like that. That one really pushes it for me, guys. I know we're here on a ghost tour, and I don't see any tonight, but often we got little ones on this tour. And the last thing I want to do is send them home with nightmares. So that one pushes it for me. I don't know. It's still in the tour, so we'll see as time goes by. You guys want to, those were 3 EVPs that were recorded on tour, just like you're taking tonight. So that's what I mean when I say you might be surprised what you hear and what you see when you go home and examine your evidence. You guys want to know why I went to the steam tunnel?
Yeah.
All right. There was a film crew here recording part of a documentary called Children of the Grave. This was back, I want to say, in 2006, 2007. Anybody see that? They play on the Sci-Fi Channel all the time, especially around Halloween. And it's also the #1 movie on Amazon's streaming movie service, whatever they call it, Netflix. #1. It's a documentary about haunted orphanages. And the castle features prominently for at least a half hour of that film. And in one scene, the filmmakers are going into the steam tunnel. And they decide to start poking the bear, which is the way I used to describe how not to investigate in this building. Don't get angry, don't get belligerent. Well, they did. And they were getting forceful with their questioning. And they started getting responses to their questions in the forms of bangs or raps on that long pipe that runs down the tunnel. So they got a little more emboldened. They got more adversarial. All of a sudden, they all heard an audible gravel, turned their cameras down to the end of the tunnel, and there's a large, black, human-shaped mass slowly moving down the tunnel towards them, accompanied by the footsteps. But it chased me out of that room more times than I can count. You want to see me move quick, I take those back steps 2 or 3 times at a time. It's not fun. Now, it's scary, however, it's television. But it caused a memory for me. I used to take every historical tour into that tunnel. It's a fun way to use a few minutes of the tour. But at least 3/4 of the time, people get about halfway down, and they look to the end and go, hello? Hello? They would see someone at the end of the tunnel waving at them. There was never anybody there. That's when I stopped going in. About a year ago, actually a year and a month. We had a film crew here from, well, this is a project that I'm going to talk about because I'm involved in it and I'm very proud of it, called Shadowbound. Now, Shadowbound is a 5-episode web series done in the style of a 1920s silent horror film. Produced entirely in Springfield, well, the composer lives in Los Angeles, works for Family Guy. But the film was filmed here in Springfield. The castle was in every episode. It's gaining international acclaim. It was nominated for an IAW TV award. which is the Academy Awards. It's the same company, but it's the awards they give web television. We lost to Battlestar Galactica. We knew we were going to lose to Battlestar Galactica. However, it did go on to win Best Cinematography and Best Original Score at the LA Film Fest. It's been now featured in the Toronto Film Fest, Vancouver Film Fest, Dallas Film Fest, Miami, and this week it is in the Melbourne Web Fest in Australia. I'm very proud of this.